Okay, I'm Kimberly Hong, and I'm PLCing with the math teachers today. We have some norms. Our norms are very simple. It's to start on time and finish on time, and we're going to keep it professional and positive. We're going to be honest and open in our discussion. We're going to be accepting and listen to others, and we're going to stay on task. This is the STAR data for the 7th graders students that we had this year. I want to focus on the special population and students who are at risk for not passing the STAR test or not showing growth this year. We are here to discuss and identify achievement gaps, focusing on students that are at risk or economically disadvantaged. So, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yes, I'm Stacy Eberspacher. I teach 7th grade math.
I'm Mikkel Watson. I teach 7th grade math.
Okay, so here we have the math score from last year. Most of our kids are economically disadvantaged. How do you think that affects their test scores?
Usually we tend to see lower just because they have that that label of ECOD. And when I usually hear it, I usually think like, oh, it's gonna make my job harder.
Yes. So usually if that's the case, I'm thinking they don't have Wi-Fi or a laptop at home to access assignments online.
That part.
I'm thinking that also maybe they don't have anybody available at home that help them on their homework or their assignments. Because most of the economically disadvantaged, I notice, are like minorities, like Latinos.
Right. Right. That's what I see too. So also sometimes like language barrier
Yes.
can be, like if we're not using enough visuals or it don't translate over.
Well, we have 62 out of our 483 who are currently emergent bilingual.
Yes, that's a big number. And that's kind of like the trend for rural cities now. More minorities, Latinos are moving down here. So that number is going to increase in the next couple of years as well. Unfortunately, we only have
We have
one
253
para.
Hispanics.
So
You were saying we don't have enough paras? Is that what
yes, we don't have enough para, and also we only have one person in charge of the ELL, which is Miss Hooper, and she has to service multiple campuses. And I think that's something that she needs support in because of the growing numbers of Hispanics and emerging bilingual students that are coming here.
I agree with that. The economic disadvantage, like they could be coming to school hungry, and if they're coming to school hungry, then it's hard to focus. I mean, there's just lots of factors that go into that. And the majority, I mean, if you look at our scores, we had our master's level was not very high among the ECODIS.
Yeah. It's what, 12.63?
No, that's for all students. It's
but
9.14. So less than 10%. Yeah.
Yeah. So does being bilingual like translate to math?
What do you mean?
Like if
the
they-
struggles with it?
The struggle with it. Do they have, is it a different language or like a,
No, it's not a different language. It's more so like models and like them flipping it and translating in their head from English to Spanish.
The problem that comes in is like the STAR test the math test is a reading test.
for math as well?
Yes, because it's mostly word
Word
problems.
problems.
So if you don't understand the words that you're reading, they may understand the math perfectly, but if they don't understand the words that they're reading and understand the question, then it makes it difficult to answer the question that's being asked.
Yes, and that kind of is the trend because for the science 8th grade tests, not only they have to know the language, but they also have to know the academic language.
Yes.
And how that relates to them because, I mean, some of them might not ever experience going to the ocean, and they don't understand what an estuary is. And so it's
Right.
like experiences and also it is a hinder for them to know the language and then translate that.
Right.
And they may know what the word withdrawal in Spanish, whatever the Spanish word for that is, they may know withdrawal means to take out, but if they don't know the English word, then they don't know that the
Yeah.
question is asking about like a check being withdrawn or something.
Yes, financial literacy is hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there anything that we're providing them right now to help them?
We try to do more visuals.
Visuals. Yes. So
Yep.
we will actually try to bring in like play money. And like this is $1, this is quarter, nickel, dime, try to do those types of things and then try to like do
Right.
withdrawals and deposits.
Yeah, and you can show them pictures, like you could have a picture of a credit card.
Yes.
And you could have the Spanish word and the English word, and then explain that that's that would be a negative number, because that's something you owe. And
Yes.
so you just have to have the visuals and then the English and the Spanish word, because they may not know that word in Spanish either.
Yeah.
Yes, that's another thing I noticed, and I talked to Miss Garcia, which is the ELL pair. A lot of these are coming from like third world, like country, village. They don't have education over there, so they don't even know how to read or write in Spanish in their own language.
Right.
And so they're not getting any sort of education that they normally would get if they lived in a bigger city. Okay. Are they able to use a Spanish dictionary in STAR tests?
Yes, I think that is accommodation, but I think it might be more for reading, not necessarily math.
They can use one for math if it's part of their ELL accommodations. Yeah.
And none of the STAR tests is in bilingual. It's all in English?
Yes.
All in English.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at here at the SPED indicator. I noticed that the approaches are doing okay, like a little less than 50%. However, the meets and masters are really low. So what is hindering special education? Are they able to pass the tests?
Some are, some aren't. It depends on what their disability is. Most of them, I would say it's the multi-step problems. You give them, most of the SPED kids, you give them one-step problems, and they can do those. Like, they have learned that. But when you start adding, well, you have to subtract this and then multiply this to figure out the answer or whatever, then that's where they start to struggle. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they have trouble following multi-step directions. Like their parents at home may tell them, I need you to pick up your shoes, put your shoes away, and then go take a bath. Well, they pick up their shoes and then they're like, what'd you say to do next?
Yeah.
So that's just a part of their learning disability, and it makes it difficult.
Okay. And do they get extra help in their remediation when they do fail?
Yes.
And do they go to a resource class?
No.
No.
We'll do it.
They
Okay.
used to go to Target, but our district or our school, the junior high's got rid of Target. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but they used to have targeted instruction. So they would have math twice a day. They would have their regular math class, and then they would have Target math. And that Target class was to get them caught up to where their peers are. Like if they're struggling with a 5th grade concept, they could work on that in their Target math class. But we don't do that anymore. Now we just have in-class support that is supposed to kind of help them.
And how many grade levels are you thinking they're behind?
It depends on the kid. Some of them are on a 2nd or 3rd grade level.
Yes, looking at map testing, some of them are performing on a 2nd, 3rd grade level. But I would say majority would be like 5th grade, so like 2 years.
Yeah.
If we had to, 2 years behind.
Okay. And at a 5th grade level, are they able to pass the STAR test with that?
Like as a 7th grader, would they be able to
Yes.
pass the 5th grade STAR?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think that's ever been.
Well,
Never
what-
acts that way.
Let me take it back. Will they ever be able to pass the algebra test? Because every high schooler have to take the algebra test in order to graduate.
I don't know if we're closing the gaps fast enough for that, like at this moment.
Because
speaking.
usually they come in as freshmen taking algebra, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, and that's one of the math tests that they have to take.
yes. They have 4 years though. They can take it 4 times.
Or more, I know,
Yeah.
because like they do summer school in high school and they do remediation for all the STAR test core subjects. I know they have to take it at least twice before they get arted out for SPED, but I mean it's an intense test for even a regular student. So I can imagine a SPED having to sit there for 8 hours and just focus on taking the test and while being quiet and still, you know. So yeah, that I know that we don't have any remediation when it comes to science this year because it's not a STAR tested subject, but we are incorporating it into our power hour, which is our study hall, so that we could help the kids have growth. It's just there is a gap because they don't take the science test. The last time they took the science test is in 5th grade. So they didn't test in 6th. They didn't test in 7th, and then they have to take the STAR in 8th, and that's just a lot of in between not taking the tests.
Right.
Yeah, and also like in science, I know in high school they have to take the biology, and that's the only STAR test they have to take for science. And then after that, they can deviate into a life science that doesn't involve math and science, because chemistry is a lot of math and science, physics as well. And so they do offer like, you know, other, I would consider them like resources like aquatics. They'll offer that class, or environmental studies, something that doesn't involve math, because math and science actually are married together. Like when you go into upper level science, you have to know the basic of math. And that's what we're doing right now. I'm noticing y'all teach it a little differently, and maybe we can learn a lot from you, because right now they are calculating velocity, speed, and acceleration.
And see, we haven't covered that in math. So D equals
equals
RT. Distance equals rate times time.
Yes, and I've been doing the triangle, like it's like distance over time equals S. And then if they want to know distance, they have to take
Oh, so speed. Yeah, we call that R. We call that rate.
rate. Okay, see, there's like the same thing but different language. And so I
Yes.
feel like, but I feel like it's hard for the kids, even that signal, one number over the other, they don't know to divide.
They should
yes,
know that.
They should, because it's almost like a fraction. We should, but yes, I understand what you're
We
saying.
struggle with that
We
in
do,
math as
yes.
well.
Okay.
They should know that a fraction
Yes.
is a division problem.
So is there a different way I should write it? Maybe like, okay,
I mean,
'cause-
you could do it distance divided by time, but I wouldn't, because they should know.
They
This
gotta
is,
get
this
used to
is how
seeing
we
that.
teach it.
Okay,
Like we
good.
teach.
Because that's how I put it, and you're right. They don't know to divide, but that's how they're gonna see it. Okay, and then also rounding is very hard for them.
Yes, yes, because that's like a 4th grade skill that they learned, and you usually don't see it again until like 7th grade. But it's very little.
Really? Because like I know that in the because yours is all multiple choice, correct?
Our STAR test?
Yes.
No,
There is a written
There's drop.
There's
No, there's no
drag
written.
and drop.
There's written. I mean, not written. There's drop down. There's
Hotspot.
hotspot, and they do have to put in like if the answer is 4.2, they have to type in 4.2.
Okay, and if they put like 4.201 and they don't,
That would be wrong.
That would be wrong.
because they didn't round correctly.
Right.
Okay, so that rounding is very important.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
And did we already assign IXL for rounding in
I think
Power Hour?
I think we did in
too.
Power Hour.
For at the beginning of the year?
Uh-huh.
That was something we put in IXL because we noticed that they were particularly struggling with rounding.
okay.
Because we were multiplying decimals, and they needed to round to the nearest tenth, or the nearest hundredth is the hardest for them, because they always want to round to the 10th.
Yes, and like even then, like I don't want to confuse them with like the hundredths or the 10th place. I usually just say round 2 decimal places. Is that, I mean, I feel like that's more,
On the
But-
math test, it actually says round to the
Hundred.
nearest hundredth.
Yes,
gotcha.
or round to the nearest 10th. Yeah,
Yep.
it will
So-
actually tell you which place to round it
Okay, so in the science, it doesn't. However, the way they do it in the multiple choice, they either will round it up or down incorrectly.
Yep.
So if they don't know how to round, they're gonna pick the wrong answer.
Yep.
And so that, I mean, and like you said, they got a little bit in 4th grade. That was the gap, and then they get a little bit more in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, 4th grade is where
Well,
they really learn it.
yeah.
And it's hit hard in 4th grade. They don't see it again maybe until 7th, or every now and then there's a problem sprinkled.
They might see
round
it
to
in
the next
6th
10.
too.
Yeah.
But we've noticed in 7th that we have to, part of that spiral review, we have to go over it in 7th grade. Otherwise, they're going to miss those rational number operations with decimals.
Okay. And then another thing that I emphasize is units. Do they,
Labels.
they don't, in science is really important because units tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And if you don't put units, it could be any random number. But yeah, they have to know how to use those, write those units and use them. So, and like you said, sometimes they don't understand like it's miles per second, like M/S. They want to write miles, the word, and then per, and then second.
Oh, with instead of the slash. meaning
Yes, yes. And so, but I guess it's like, because to me, I thought it was pretty obvious because when you look at your car diameter or you look at anything, it's usually they'll abbreviate the units for you. But maybe they don't have exposure to that.
Exactly.
I mean, they haven't started driving yet. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I didn't think about that. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I thought, because like if you look at anything, like any statistic online or anything, they always abbreviate those units.
Girl, they're not looking at statistics online.
And not.
They're on Roblox.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So yes, does Roblox even include math? No.
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 No, absolutely.
No. So it would be cool if they actually had something. Is there like a game that, because right now we don't have IXL for science, they didn't purchase it. So the only thing they recommend for us is Khan Academy.
Khan Academy is good.
It's good.
Okay.
Because they have that for math.
They do. And I always tell my parents if they want to help their kids at home and they don't know how to do something, I always direct them to Khan Academy
Yes.
to
because-
help the parents so that they can
Yes.
help the kids.
Yes. And I mean, do you penalize them if they don't do and set up the problem a certain way?
No.
Okay.
We teach them, so math has kind of moved away from that. I'm sure there's some old school teachers who still do it, but we teach them several different ways to do it and they pick what's best for them.
Alright.
And if they can even come up, I've even had kids come up with a new way, as long as they can explain it to me and it will work every time, I let them do it whatever way they want.
That makes sense because like kids learn differently, and parents, the way they do it is different from what the kids are doing in class. And I noticed that, and some of them, like you said, there's different. The idea that to think bigger, there's different ways to get the right answer.
Right.
Because sometimes they get stuck if it's not done a certain way.
Yep.
And you know, and again, it's very important for them to show their work.
Yes.
Yes, and then also doing it that way also helps the parents as well, because it's kind of like, well, I know how to do it this way. It's the same way to get the answer versus like, well, my teacher only wants us to do it this way, and then the parents can't help them, and then now you got two people frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like if you learn it from your dad one way and he doesn't, and you understand it, do it. All I care is about we all got the same answer.
Yep.
Yes.
We all arrived.
And when did y'all have this idea of doing it different ways to get the right answer? Because, like, is this something new or has it been incorporated?
Ever since I started teaching math, I did it because I when I was in 7th grade, I hated math. Like, I was terrible at it. It was like the worst thing ever because it was like, you have to do it this way. This is how you have to set it up, and this is how you have to do it. And it didn't always make sense to me.
Yeah.
So ever since I started teaching math, once I found my love for math, many years later, I was like, I'm not going to teach it that way. I'm going to teach multiple ways. And fortunately, I've had supportive people above me who will let me do that.
Okay.
They actually encourage it now. I don't know when it changed.
Yeah, because I noticed that parents get, like me as a parent, get frustrated because we do it a certain way, and then the kid's like, no, that's not the way my teacher does it. But like you said, they need to open their minds to there's all kinds of ways to do it, and as long as you come up with the right answer, there's no wrong way.
One way to get.
Because they're very, like you said, I remember it was very regiment. Like, this is the way you do it, and this is how you do it. And if you don't set it up that way, then it's not right.
Now, elementary is a little different because your kids are in elementary, right? They're more focused on, they're more strict about you have to set it up this way because there's so many different ways they're going to see it on their STAR test. And if you don't ever teach them that way and they only see it one time and then it's gone from their brain, then they're not going to recognize it on the test. So elementary is more we're going to do it this way for a few days. And then we're from what I understand now, it's more, you have to do it a certain way in elementary, only because that's what you're going to see on the test.
Gotcha.
And if you're never exposed to it, once you get to 7th grade, it's more about finding solutions versus the process.
The process of the answer,
Because by the time they get to 7th grade, they should know how to multiply and how to divide and how to add. But in elementary, they're learning all those things.
And when did y'all start incorporating calculators?
8th grade.
Yeah, so we don't. Only in 8th grade.
Only in 8th grade?
Unless they get an accommodation.
Okay.
Because they're 504 SPED.
So that's good. So they need to learn the basic. And even the SPED kids, they could benefit from learning the basic first before they get the calculator.
We've actually started doing math fluency drills in
Right.
Power Hour. The first 10, 15 minutes.
Every
Power hour.
is
We're doing
fluency.
multiplication fluency.
Oh, that's great. Because nowadays, that's how I learned in the past is I had multiplication tests and we start with 1s, 2s, all the way to 9s and 11s and 12s. But it was all memorization and it just became second nature.
Yep.
Right.
But
And we need to get them back to that.
Yeah, we got to get back to that. And so that's what we're trying to do is get back to that.
okay. I mean, do you feel like it's a hindrance because now they just want to do everything on their phone? And they want to go straight to the calculator instead of doing mental math?
Only on test days because they take so long because you don't know your facts. I know automatically 2 times 2 is 4.
Yes.
I know that 4 divided by 2 is 2, But if you don't know your fact families like that, then it's kind of then it's harder because now you got to go, okay, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4.
So it slows them down.
Yes.
It slows them down.
And we trying to speed up that process.
Yes, because
I'm only doing multiplication and division fluency drills. I don't do addition or subtraction because they can always resort to fingers. For my daughter, who's in college, still sometimes uses her fingers to add and subtract.
Okay.
Which is ridiculous. I know.
No, but I think it's good to know because I know that's something that helps them a lot, and they just take it throughout their whole life. And
Yes. The multiplication, absolutely, and division. Yes.
and division. And sometimes people resort counting on their fingers. I mean, I think that's better than just running to the calculator.
For adding and subtracting, yes, but for multiplication and division, you have to memorize those
Yeah, I
fact
know.
families.
Okay.
So we're trying to get them. We're trying to get them there.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many do you build up the number of problems over the course of time, or do you just give them a set number every single time you get a
We're not
test?
doing it on paper at all. We're using a
Like
website.
99 math.
Yep.
And it has 6, 7s, and 8s. And so I set my class, hey, we got to get 85% as a class in this. And it shows us common missed ones that they're missing commonly. Hey, we got to get these right. And so it took my class 3 days for 6, 7s, and 8s to at least get 85%.
And they do 3 rounds.
They do 3 rounds of it.
And this program is free? Okay.
And so, but it took us 3 days to do it. So now we can move on. Now we can move on. So I build upon
Yeah.
Okay.
those
So then you
skills.
do 6, 7, 8, 9.
9s, yes.
Okay. So for science, we have a scope and sequence, and we have to hit topics according to different times because in order to cover all the topics.
Same.
And some of them don't really build up on each other until we review it at the end. But you're saying at math, one thing builds on top of another?
Mostly, yes. Yes. But now we're only talking, we don't do math fluency in our regular classes.
Right.
That's
Gotcha.
only in our power hour.
Power, okay.
Yeah. Because because this year we have kids who did not meet or approach, they were usually approaches low.
Right, or there's some of these like indicators on here.
Yeah.
Like they either like SPED indicators or they the Hispanics or the bilingual ones that are in our power hours. So these are the ones that were approaches low or did not meet that are in our power hour. So now we got to push them to at least try to get on grade level with their peers.
Gotcha. And like so are y'all is that y'all's approach to close the gap is to like do the lows right now and then do the mediums later and do the highs later?
No, that's just how they split them up for our power hours.
Do you have the same group of kids the whole semester?
Yes.
And what about after Christmas second semester?
I don't know.
Oh,
I would
no.
assume so.
I assume we'll still have them.
Okay.
They
You know?
might look at map data. I don't know.
Yeah, they might. But other than that, I'm just gonna bank on that we still have them. But these are the ones where we can close those gaps because we got 60 minutes with them. So we can build up fluency and we can go back and scale in those 4th grade skills, those 5th grade skills, since we don't have target anymore. So then that's what we can kind of use power hour for. Is okay, I have these group of kids that did not pass STAR. What are we missing? So we're looking at map data. Oh, we're missing this 4th grade skill of rounding. So then that's what we're doing. We're doing rounding for like a couple of days of rounding until we can start seeing success. And then we'll move on to like a 5th grade skill to that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't hit all the kids that need it, but I have around 24 or 5 or so, and you have
27.
So we're hitting, between the two of us, we're hitting just over 50 of our kids. And if we could get those kids to grow, even if we could get 75% of them to grow, that will be huge for the campus.
Oh, okay. All right, because like I was thinking, if you're only hitting 24 and you hit 25, that's not like that's only hitting a certain percentage.
Yeah.
But you said that these are the ones that if you just give them a little bit more reinforcement, that they're going to hit grade level.
Yeah, I think that, and they're more the kids that are, they're not growing. So they're not going from approaches low to approaches high. They're just kind of staying at approaches low. And we just need them to go
One more
if we can get them one more up, then next year maybe we can get them another one up, So you can't think like I have 200 kids that I need to grow and you can't think that you have to start with like
One chunk at a time?
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise you're going to get overwhelmed and none of them will grow.
Because like my thing is the whole our school system is using MAP to gauge student growth, and I'm not very familiar with the MAP test. So I want to take the MAP test so that I can get an idea of what the students are doing in their mind. But to me, it's like, oh, now that we have the data, let's hit as many kids as we can. But like you said, that's kind of impossible, and also it's hard to grow them. They need more time.
Yes.
I think it's more important, instead of hitting as many kids as possible, you're very intentional with the kids that you do pick to target for that year.
Okay.
So you may only have, out of your 200 kids, you may only have 2 in each class period that you target for that growth. And you just look at the data and decide which ones those are.
Okay. How do you target kids that are already meeting grade level, but they could go even higher than that?
You have to find some kind of extension to give them.
Okay.
And those are the kids that I have this year.
Okay. Because like to me, it's like I'm looking at the MAP data, and in one SPED co-teach class, I might have a kid that's really low, and then I have a kid that's scoring above grade level. And
All in the same class?
All in the same class. So
That's
it's
hard.
it's hard, but like you said, maybe sometimes pull the kids that are doing grade level to get them to go above that. but I do agree, the ones that need the help the most, they need more time with you to grow. And these are mostly like minorities. They might not even be able to stay after because they don't have a ride.
Right.
And they don't have any support at home, so like what you're offering them during power hours is what they get.
It's what they're gonna get.
And so do you help, and so you are able to help them with like doing more, but also like with their homework and things like that, right?
We don't really, we're focused more on building foundational skills so that when they learn the math in class, that they are more able to do that.
Okay.
We don't really help them with their homework during power hour.
Okay, so it's just giving them a strong foundation. So hopefully by then they can go home and do
Yes,
their
or
homework.
if they can at least do the basics. So we need them to at least be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. If they can at least do the basics, they can be successful on the 7th grade test. You just got to know when you see product, that means to multiply, and you know how to multiply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
These first kids on here, those are like half my power hour.
Yes, yeah. That's what I was looking at. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I have
that
majority
one,
of
I have
these.
that
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
And it falls on par to what we're discussing.
Yes.
But see, like this one right here, I have her. Oh no, she's in a regular class. I was thinking she was in advanced class, but she's not. That one.
For my emerging bilingual, like science is a very academic based thing. Well, I mean, there's simple concept, but just using academic terms to explain it. So we do front load the vocabs early, and we get their power hour teacher. Sometimes they go to, like I know the new emerging bilinguals, they go to Miss Garcia for power hour, and then she kind of helps them. And she says repetition is probably the best way to get them to like really get the word and know the language, because they're just repeating it and seeing it as many times as possible in different ways.
Yeah. How many emergent, like, how many true, like they come and they barely speak English? How many of those do we have here right now? Do you have any, Watson?
That don't, I probably have maybe 2.
2? Okay.
Okay, I have 4. So,
Then I have 4.
yeah, so Romel
Yes, I was thinking Ramel.
and Zuri,
Brenlin.
Brenlin,
Mhm.
and I have Evan.
Ah, yeah.
But Evan, like you
He's
said,
very high.
he's very high,
He
but
understands.
he just needs to know the language.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did he score on science? I mean, on math.
He probably scored approaches.
What's his last name?
Oh, right here. No. Oh, on reading. His last name is this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He probably scored at least maybe meets, because he's pretty high. He's pretty
Okay.
sharp.
So,
He scored meets. Yep.
oh wow.
Yeah, I would say he scored meets. He's pretty high in math.
Yeah, because I could tell that he knows a lot, but the language is definitely a barrier. Because for the star reading, he didn't even hit approaches.
Yes, I see. He did not meet at all.
Yeah. So, like, they could do well in math
Absolutely.
and not know the language, because, I mean, math is its own language, I think.
Yes. But if he knew the language, he probably would have gotten masters on math
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
if he had a better understanding of the language.
Yeah, and I feel like the kids' willingness, if the language is their only barrier, they should be able to grow pretty fast. Correct.
With support.
With support.
Yes.
Yeah, because like you said, they're not probably gonna get it at home. They need it, get it in school.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're not speaking English at home, then they're not gonna grow in that.
Well, I think it changes a lot because when I was ESL, well, English as second language. I think that's what they call it back then. But math always came easier because in my country we don't use a calculator, and B, like I knew the language because it was variables, letters, very few letters, and then numbers. But now it's getting harder because there are word problems. So it doesn't really like tell me like how much how much they know. It's really if they can read it and understand
Partially,
it,
yes.
right? So that's like the gap is just getting them to catch up on knowing the language. And like you said, that could get Evan from meets to masters. And he's in your class, Watson? Okay, gotcha. Do you have any sped in your power hour? Like sped kids?
I think they all go with Coach Rob.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, got it. So they go with their like case manager? Okay, and their case manager gives them support. Okay, got it. Which is good because it's probably a smaller class, right?
Right, exactly. It's
And
a
they-
smarter class.
And they need that one-on-one.
Do you have this one?
Who is it?
Macy Ashworth. I just,
Yes, I have her in my power hour, I believe.
like, she almost got to masters. I was just wondering why she's not in advanced.
So what qualifies them to be in advanced? Does their parents have to advocate for them?
Their parents have to say, I want my kid in advanced classes.
See, if I was ELL, like my parents would have no idea to advocate for me to be in
That's true.
advance,
Yeah.
Or like, cause like just because I notice a lot of them, just because they speak English really well doesn't mean their parents speak English.
Right.
And so I think that they could be in like a GT class or advanced, but their parents never advocate to identify them as GT, and their parents was unaware that
That was even
an option.
Yeah.
Right. But I normally would, hey, check out this kid. I think he needs to go GT or something like that. And then they'll look, like when I email Wes and the counselors about it, they'll look into it. And then next thing you know, because I did that with 6 of my kids, and one of them is getting moved because they qualify on all the fronts for a GT. So sometimes it can be teacher referrals that can kind of help advocate, because then they'll notify the parents and let the
Yeah.
parents know.
Yeah, and that's good because, like I said, like some of them could do really well in an advanced class, but it's just
don't
nobody
know.
they don't know, or nobody's advocating for them.
And it might also be, well, no, because if they're GT, then they wouldn't need the support from like a
parent?
a Spanish speaker.
Oh, it's,
So
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to, because like Miss Garcia, our para for ELL, she only comes into the gen ed classes, correct?
yes.
Okay.
But see, then I have some, like this kid, he did not meet high, but his parents wanted him in an advanced class, so he's in an advanced class.
And what is his race?
He's black,
Okay.
and he's currently failing my class
Okay.
because he doesn't turn anything in. But because his parents wanted him in advanced, he's in advanced. And it didn't used to be that way in this district.
Okay.
But that was when, like in 7th grade, they would take 8th grade math. In 6th grade, they took 7th grade math. They don't do that anymore. It's just an advanced 7th grade math class.
Oh. But like, in order to get to algebra, they have to be a year ahead, right?
No, so my kids that are in advanced 7th grade math this year, most of them will go on to algebra, unless,
They don't do well on the
Right.
test.
and then next year when they get to algebra, I know Mr. Khan looked at their star scores from last year and was like, some of them, he's like, no, this kid should not be in algebra. Even though their parents want them in algebra and they were in advanced in 7th grade, if they didn't meet on the
Star test.
7th grade STAR test, then they don't need to be in algebra in 8th grade.
And that makes sense because like that way y'all can have like input on who's in advance and who's not, because that's a barrier. Like parents might push their kid but don't really know what it takes to be in advance.
Right, and then you don't want the kids sitting in that class struggling,
No.
and then they don't need to be there struggling.
Yeah. I think the misconceptions for parents is like, if I put my kids in advance, they'll be in a better behaved classroom, and it needs to equate to my kid is academically ready for it. Not so much, oh, I want my kids to be in a better class.
Right.
But that is why a lot of parents put their kids in advanced classes.
Okay. Well, I learned a lot today. I learned that there's a lot of barriers for ELL that we still need to work on. I feel like that population is underserved.
It is.
And also, you know, we need to utilize Power Hour better so that we can really service these kids and get them to grow, because every kid can grow. I think that's a misconception too, because I feel like we've been told that if they're just at the cusp of passing, they're the kids that we want to approach. But really, any kid could grow.
Right, and you can get those points from anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because like we call them the bubble kids.
The bubble kids.
And I've always been taught, target the bubble kids, because if you just give them a little bit of support, they'll go, you know, they'll hit the next level. But the low, they'll never go anywhere. You know, like that's the misconception.
Yes, but those lows can actually move up that level, which is bringing up that percentage. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for the MAP test.
Right. Well,
Okay.
and also for STAR.
STAR 2?
Yeah.
For the state, the school grade, that's based on STAR test.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of our...
Yeah, ratings.
Rating.
The ratings.
Yeah, because our district or school does get rated, and it's public information how well we do on the STAR tests. All right, well, I've learned a lot, and next time we meet, we'll come up with some solutions. And just, I really want to focus on the ELL and what we could do to better help them close this gap.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And I think we're ending on time.